from a design standpoint, I in particular sit with a client and ask a series of questions of the types of places they've been in the world that they really like, and the places that they made them feel good, and what were the aspects that made them feel good. What's their favorite restaurant and why? In most cases, people say the food is great, but when you really get to the core of it, is the environment is great. If the environment is great, the food tastes better. If the environment, it feels uncomfortable and horrible and smells wrong, the food is bad no matter whether the food is good or not. Well, it's kind of the same thing here. Is I want to get that idea of what it is that you like and why you like that, and then how can we cater to that. Now, do I know when we start a project what all of those pieces are going to be? No, I don't. This is an organic process for me that I'm 24 hours a day. If I'm not doing physical work, I'm out searching out items and things, and they don't have to be high cost items. I pick them up everywhere and anywhere I can get them and throw them in the truck and bring them home and put them in the barn and sift through them. The office is full of really cool stuff that we found along the way, and eventually all of it gets used. Now, from a design standpoint, if we had the exact shape of the pool with the exact dimensions of everything, that wouldn't work. We work on an ish system where the joke today was they should run on eBay brand new tape measures in the box on them saying for sale by the pool guy, never used. Because the interest is not in measuring everything perfectly, but rather coming up with a general design and going by feel. And when you go by feel, all of a sudden it makes sense to have something here and to have something there. In a lot of cases, I can see it in my mind and I've just got to find it. In some cases, I go, oh, I have one of those. And we go through the process of how does it fit there, what would we do? We have a project right now where we're doing a grotto, and the customer loved what was starting to happen inside, and then they wanted a very specific theme. Said, could you theme it more this way? And absolutely, it takes on a whole new light than just being a cave. Now it's becoming this whole themed area. Now, that theme I had been collecting things for, and I had all this really cool stuff that could be used. Authentic stuff, fake stuff, you know, manufactured stuff, doesn't really matter. We're going for feel and look. And the authenticity. The authenticity part is you've got to think through that, because a lot of people can do really cheap looking theming, but our idea is how can we make it feel right? So we want to use the right materials, and we want to use, you know, authentic swords if it's a pirate theme. We don't want to have a plastic sword there. We want to use something authentic. We want to, you know, if it's, you know, any of those types of things, whatever the theme is, you want to try to think as authentically as possible. The challenge with that is, if you don't know ahead of time what the theme is, all of a sudden it's the scramble to find the right stuff, which is the fun part and also the stress part. But the more you can get a genre in your head of what it's going to look like, the easier it is to start collecting those items. So for example, I have this lighting theme in my mind that I want to do that's all nautical ship lights. And you don't just go to the store and buy, could I have 3 dozen of these nautical ship lights? I bought them one at a time from various supplies, from various places. Some of them are 50 years old, some of them are 100 years old, some of them are 150 years old. And we got this eccentric array of lights that once we put them all together and low voltage light all of them, it'll be spectacular. But I couldn't sell that project tomorrow and go, okay, we're going to do a nautical theme with nautical lighting, and then expect to be able to find that in 2 months. It's over time you find things. So I've got these themes working through my life of what I'm looking for constantly. I'm always on the search for, and the challenge is I'm investing. I'm investing in that person I don't even know yet. See, you know, I could just wait and then chintz it together with some cheap stuff and say, there you go, there's your custom lighting. Or I could think about you before I've even met you. So all those lights that I've been putting on, they're all around the office and hanging in places. Functionally, we're using some of them until it's time to take them out. That's me thinking about that customer that I haven't even met yet that we're going to do a nautical theme for. And as a net result, when they arrive in my life and they love the idea of a nautical theme, I go, wow, do I have some spectacular stuff for you. And now it's an easy transition, and it's not how can we chintz it, how can we just spend money real fast to try to get a couple somewhat authentic looking things. Instead it's I've thought about you for many, many years. I've been collecting pirate stuff. I've been collecting, the all of the nautical types of things. I've been collecting Old West stuff. I've been collecting like knights and the Knights of the Round Table with swords, and don't spend a lot of money on any of it. What I'm doing is, as I see it, I have to invest, and by the time you add it up, it's probably a lot of money. And if I just had to go out today and buy all that stuff, I would have to pay a lot of money for all of it to have it quickly, and it wouldn't make sense anymore. But by doing that, it's it's projecting my company into the future. It's projecting my future work and drawing it to me. Because I know when I'm all set with that nautical theme, the customer will show right up, and bam, we're gonna use those, and it's gonna be spectacular. And I have railroad lanterns. I've been collecting railroad lanterns because there's a theme going to come up that's a little bit more around the railroad. All those lanterns, which are authentic, will now functionally be used as lighting. So it's those types of things. It's sculpture as well. It's finding the right art pieces that can fit in the environment. There's like the reclaimed barn wood, the reclaimed fencing and railing. There's reclaimed all kinds of stuff, ropes and pumps and grinders and gears and wheels, and there's a theme coming up for me, a steampunk theme, same thing. I've been collecting every time I find a good old brass regulator for cheap-ish, that has a bunch of gauges on it, or big massive steam gauges or anything else, I collect all of those. Because when the customer comes up to me and says, I love steampunk, wow, do I have an idea for you, let's do a little bit of a theme budget, and next thing you know, their yard will be exactly what they're wanting to have in their life, versus throw in a pool, put some landscaping around and go, okay, it's a pool. Instead, it creates this rich theme that obviously runs through their life. If they love it enough to want to do it, it means that means something to them. So why not showcase what's important to you? So from that standpoint, the more that you, at least for me, the more that I can think of future projects and ideas, and we ask people all the time. We asked our whole crew one day at one of our meetings, at one of our company meetings, so what theme would you want to do? Would you want in your yard? And everyone had completely different themes we never thought of before, which leads me down the road of finding more authentically cool things, so that when that theme comes up, I get that opportunity. And as I'm sitting here telling you this, I'm looking at a really heavy glass vase right there. And that's the vase that will become, in a pirate theme, it will become a cannon. It'll be colored, it's perfectly shaped, perfectly designed, we'll have to build it, and that will be a cannon sticking out of a wall somewhere. So, just saw it now, bought it for $2 at a garage sale because it was really heavy and I thought it was cool to be used for something. Lady said she collected her change in it, and she spent all the change, so she got rid of the vase for $2, and that will be a cannon sticking out of the wall somewhere. So you don't know. Now, it could be a cannon that has water spewing out of it. Maybe it doesn't. But that's what that'll be. And if it's not that, it'll be something else. So what that allows me to do, too, is look at the world and see all the unique pieces that I could reclaim and do something else with.